Hello, everyone. We just had a little bit of a oops back there with recording, but that's okay. Welcome to our first ever recording in the radio station of the Cuestonian.
Let's go.
So exciting. I am your multimedia editor, Lindsey McKee.
And I am your arts and entertainment editor, McKenna.
And today we're going to be talking all about the upcoming music festival, Shabang. Little Shabang 101 today. We're going to give you a quick rundown of things, very easy things that you should know about the festival if you're a newbie or a returner. And we're going to play some songs for you of people that are attending. Yeah.
Sounds good. Let's get started.
Perfect. So we're going to kind of start a little bit about the previous history of Shabang. So, McKenna, let's go with you a little bit on your previous history of Shabang. How many years have you gone?
So this will be my third year going to Shabang. I think my first Shabang was 22, and the headliners that year was Hippocampus one night, and then I'm not sure who was the other headliner. Do you recall?
Ooh, yeah, that was funny enough. That's actually my first year I went as well. I think the first night it was Men I Trust.
Oh, that's right.
And then Hippocampus the second night. That was super cool. And thinking of it now, that was actually the first year that they moved, because it used to be kind of more near Laguna Lake, the whole music festival. But funny enough, I think due to other factors, but noise complaints being one of them, they moved to a really cool location just right across Cuesta College, if you've never been before, just outside of Dairy Creek Golf Course, where it's, I don't know about you, but much better location.
I way prefer it. It's ultimately a better system, walking in and everything, and noise kind of sounds a bit better than there. I never went when it was at Laguna Lake, but just kind of near it, I feel like the sound's way better at Dairy Creek.
I remember before I ever went to the music festival, just like going to the grocery store across the street, still very far away from the festival, but when it was at Laguna, you could hear just the booming bass, and it was cool, but I can also see why neighbors would not enjoy it that much. Oh my goodness. No, but yeah, I love the new location. It's now their third year going up right across from Cuesta College. It's just out in the open. You don't have to worry about just cars driving by or anything like that, which I personally enjoy.
Yeah, it's a little more of an immersive experience over there than so much at the lake. The lake, I don't know, there's that huge wind tunnel that's always there. In here, you don't really get that as much with the mountain ranges. So.
Yeah, and especially with just like not a lot of trees in the Dairy Creek area, so when it's hot, it brings in a nice heat, which I really do enjoy. Yeah, so this, kind of similar to McKenna, this is going to be my third year going. I've gone for the past 3 years. I also was introduced to the music festival seeing Men I Trust and Hippocampus. Man, what a cool first two bands being introduced to the whole music festival. It was incredible.
I personally didn't really know who Men I Trust was personally to the festival, so that's kind of the fun part about Shabang. Majority of the bands, not always aware of, but it's always a fun introduction to learn a little bit more about them. And especially seeing bands live first is a great opportunity to get an idea of who they are.
Yeah, McKenna here is very known for going to a lot of live music. Can you tell me a little bit how that kind of compares Shabang to other live music that you go to?
Yeah, definitely. So typically I'm not too much of a festival goer. I've done a couple of them, but Shabang's mainly my main festival I'll do. So typically I'll go down south and do a lot of larger venues, but around here, it definitely, comparing it to more of a slow scene, similar to size, the atmosphere, the energy compared to everyone who attends definitely helps gather almost the slow DIY scene that we already emulate a bit. But comparing it to like larger cities, I feel like, I don't know, there's just a charm to it that you can't always get at different shows. I find like LA shows a bit, it's like people are just going just to go instead of like being a fan of the music, and you can definitely find that here at Shabang.
Yeah, I agree, especially with just the music scene here is so cool, especially surrounding college kids. So it's the one time, especially at the end of the year, where just Cuesta College kids and Cal Poly kids together just go to this one event for 2 days. And if you haven't gone yet, it's incredible. Highly recommend. So, to kind of kick off the first little segment, we're going to be playing from a local band right now. Their name is Margot Sinclair. They are local. Know anything about them, McKenna?
Not too much. I saw them a couple years back. I don't remember where, but they definitely put on a performance. I think they did a Battle of the Bands a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's where I saw them. Did you see them there?
I have never seen them before. I've heard their name a few times just because they are in the music scene in Slow. But I'm really excited to see them here at Shabang this year. We're going to be playing a song released in 2025 in January. It's called Elizabeth of Bohemia. Hope you enjoy.
You're freezing. I think it's better when you never call me. Here's a drink for you, I just bought it. Can we just figure this out by tomorrow? There's no rules that we need to follow. I forget that you tried to hurt me. I don't think I could care. You're tearing me down, breaking me up. I'm losing my saying I've got no. You're making me smile, something I've never done. You said it's all in the past now, baby. You're making me laugh now, baby. Yeah, yeah. Don't think I like what you're doing. Put down your line, I'll run right through it. I come quicker when you bring your vial. Like old time movies we watched as a child. I feel so young, are we back together? Getting things done in your fur and leather. Blame it on me, it's been like forever. I don't think I could care. You're tearing me down.
That was Elizabeth of Bohemia by Margot Sinclair, who will be performing at Shabang. Once again, if you're just tuning in, I'm Lindsey, and we have McKenna here. We're both from the Cuestonian, and we are here brought to you by Cuesta's KGUR radio station. We're doing a little Shabang 101, and next up we're going to talk about what Shabang has to offer, all the stuff that's involved with the festival other than music.
So with our food vendors, it changes the past couple of years. It seems to change, but there's always a few consistents, like Woodstock's Pizza and Zen Dogs. With it, you can kind of expect some longer lines toward the more later into the night, but with it, all the food's pretty reasonably priced if you want the best deal. Woodstock's pizza. I think it was like last year you could get, what, $2 or $3 for like a pretty decent slice, I think.
Oh, I haven't been to that one yet, but
Okay. I know like last year they would constantly run out. It was pretty, I don't remember which night, but one of them, like, I think it was Saturday after the rain, they were like constantly running out of pizza, and it was the college kids running up the hill with boxes and boxes of pizza. So that was a fun sight to see. So pretty nice array, and it kind of gives a little bit, if you're not from the area and want to check out different food vendors, it's kind of a nice way to see what SLO has to offer.
yeah, for sure. I think the one thing, though, to keep in mind is lines, especially during dinner time. It's always good to schedule out what you want to see around kind of that time, plus food. Maybe do like a group situation where some people wait in line and then meet up. Just all of that stuff, because lines can get pretty busy, especially with those food trucks.
Definitely. It's a small area for it too, so.
Yeah, I can't remember all of the food vendors, but I remember having like the best poke bowl of all time at Shabang. It was so good. So seeing them back at the festival for 2025 is really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Other than food, we have some drink offers there. I remember something to know about Shabang. They don't have a lot of drink options there. Do you remember what drinks they have off the top of your head?
I do remember for like non-alcoholic, there was the sequel.
Yeah.
The boba, that was the craziest line though.
Really?
My friend waited up to, I think, like near an hour for it. So it does get a little hectic. So, but if you're willing to try and wait and you kind of have a lull moment, probably
good
worth
tea.
it.
It's good boba.
And if you're 21 and up, there's also a small bar, but I don't think they have a hard liquor license. So
Really? Okay.
I don't know. Last year I was 21, so could drink, but stuck to seltzer, so not too sure.
Fair, yeah. I remember they have, from the top of my head, a lot of drinks with Red Bulls.
Yes.
A lot of Red Bull drinks. If you're into that, you'll like that. Kelly Squeeze beers, which I'm a fan of. I got to be careful with those this year.
Ooh, they had those Tolagos, I think it's called. Those
Oh,
agave
yeah.
limes.
Yeah.
Low percentage. Pretty good.
Yeah.
And Red Bull last year, I remember walking out of the festival every night to the gates. There was college kids handing them out Red Bulls. I don't know if they were sponsored or something, but you can get free Red Bulls throughout that festival.
Yeah. And I think the last thing that I can think of at the top of my head is Liquid Deaths. A lot of Liquid Deaths.
Sparkling
Shabang.
and non.
Yes. So a lot of drink options there as well for any goers of Shabang. And something that I really enjoy outside of music is the clothing vendors there.
Yeah.
So cool. There's so many just different small businesses putting out some really cool stuff.
And there's an array. Like last year, I remember there was a leather suede guy. It all ranges in prices, of course, but his inventory was easily 50 plus coats.
Massive.
That was pretty cool. There was another lady there. I don't know. I wish I knew what her shop name was. I think it was like an independent pop-up though. Funkiest cardigan coats. I almost bought one, but didn't want to walk around the whole festival with it. Super sick though, that too.
Yeah.
And our local place, Hemp Shack, last year was selling things too. And I'm pretty sure they're coming back and vending again.
Ooh, yeah. What we'd recommend if you are interested in buying something is, we're definitely going to do this year, is go on day one and find an outfit for our day two fit, which I highly recommend for anyone that wants to get the full experience of Shabang outside of music, to just take a look at the clothing vendors. They're really, really cool. One of my favorites is actually, I think they're always parked near Funk Safari, but they have just giant bins of thrift, like thrift store clothes.
grab bins.
So you can it's just such a cool way to just be a clothing vendor, especially in the scene like SLO, where the Goodwill bins is a lot of people's go-to place. They definitely know their audience. So that was really fun, especially during day one when the stuff is all up and brand new.
It's
to
fresh,
just go check
yeah.
it out. So I highly recommend that as well. Hopefully they're back.
I would hope so. They were near those, to protect your ears if you're a house music fan. There was that vendor who did the earplugs, similar to like loop earplugs, if you guys are familiar with those. But they had little charms so there was earrings, so you could hook them on so you would never lose your earplugs, which I thought was pretty nifty. It was reasonable too. There was like a set, I think, for 25.
Oh, okay.
With like, and it ranges, there's like base metal to like sterling silver for whatever you're looking for. But they had some funky emblems for it. It was pretty sick.
I didn't know that they did that. That's actually really cool. I should check that out this year. Yeah, because Funk Safari can get pretty loud.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And then outside of food, drink, and clothing, another thing that Shabang has to offer that's really cool is the art.
Yes.
Forever Stoked, man. They always come up. Hopefully they're there this year, but they just pull up with the coolest murals and just paintings, and it's just super cool. Especially they build like this giant tower, and usually there's always a guy just there putting up paintings, and everyone's just like, whoa, that's really cool.
There was a guy last year, maybe he was associated with him, but I thought it was so cool. It was on Saturday when it was super rainy, but after the rain broke, there was a man who was painting over the lake near it. It was kind of near Laguna Lake stage painting. I thought it was so cool. I snapped a photo and posted it to Instagram.
Yeah. So, yeah, just a whole bunch of cool things that Shabang has to offer just outside of music. So I highly recommend, or we both do, just going both days, even in full, just to check out all the stuff outside of the stages. You'll really
and there's a
recommend
couple
it.
events you can sign up to as well. I don't know if they've all been released yet.
Yeah.
But there's, in the middle of the festival, there's about like this flat stage that's just open space. So there's a couple local like vendors who will come and teach classes. Like somebody last year did a whole yoga session a couple times.
I think they've gone a few times now.
Yeah.
They're regular.
That was
Yes.
pretty cool. And then there was another of like some confidence boosting too.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't recall much about it. I typically don't do them because I want to do all the music. So
Yeah, so much going on at this festival. Something for everyone, for sure. We highly recommend taking the time to look at everything because there's a lot, but a lot of cool stuff. A lot of stuff targeted for college kid age demographic. So it's really cool just being in that environment with all that stuff. Awesome. So we're going to play another song for you guys. So this next band is called Almost Monday. They're going to be performing at Shabang. Do you know anything about them, McKenna?
I do. I'm actually a fan of their music. So I've been listening to them since probably late high school, early high school. I'm not too sure. They're a band from San Diego, so not too far from us. And they kind of do a more surf indie rock kind of sound to them. So this is Can't Slow Down by Almost Monday.
Let's just pretend this night won't end. The lights are flashing like they're reading your heart. I see your world in outer space. We spiral up and now we're standing on the stars. To the moon, she's riding on a burning light. She doesn't worry if it's wrong or right. Don't stop the speeding all the way through the night. I don't know if I'm gonna keep up. She said I can't slow chasing when you come around. We're burning through the city, burning through the city. And we can't slow down if we want to. Yeah, the speakers so loud, spinning round, and I don't know where I'm going, but I gotta know. She said, boy, boy, are you coming too?
That was Almost Mondays Can't Slow Down. If you're just tuning in, we're Lindsey and McKenna from the Cuestonian, brought to you here by KGUR, Cuesta's radio station.
And with Almost Monday, that was the lead single from their newest album that just came out, Dive. If you want to explore more to it, they just released their deluxe just a couple weeks ago. And I think they were recently just signed, so you'll probably start seeing more of them.
Yeah, for sure. Now, on to our next topic of Shabang 101. Let's talk about the stages a little bit.
Of course. Starting, what was your favorite stage from previous years?
Oh, man. I'm actually going to have to say Cuesta Ridge. And while it's the smallest stage out of the three, a little bit of background, I usually go with my little sister, who is a freshman now at Cal Poly. And her and I love live music, especially more in the punk genre.
Mm-hmm.
And Cuesta Ridge is really more revolved around more of the punk scene. So you get a lot more mosh pits, a lot more just raw music in Cuesta Ridge, which I find to be so cool and so fun. So that's definitely one where, even though there's a lot of really cool bands that play on the main stages, I always think about the bands that play at Cuesta Ridge and how much fun they were, and especially then because they're a little bit more smaller in audience attendance, you get to be right in the front, and it's super cool. So that's probably my favorite, Cuesta Ridge. What about yours?
Last year, I was mainly, I know for Friday, pretty much pinned to Laguna Lake. And Laguna Lake is the main stage that usually the headliners will perform at. Last year, me and my friends got Barricade to see Wilt in Sunroom.
Whoa.
Such a fun time. We were hoping to stay Barricade for Peach Pit, but got a little too rowdy. So feel free to leave those pits when people are pushing, because there's not always the best etiquette towards the end of the night.
You got to be really strong and confident with yourself. That's one thing I learned, especially last year, because I did actually get to be pretty much arm's length of Barricade for Peach Pit. And it's really just about, you're there, you got this spot. If anyone tries to push, you are a brick and you can't let anyone move. And honestly, I just tell everyone that, and hopefully people are have a little bit more etiquette, but you don't know. But that's my advice.
Yeah, for it. That's the best advice really going into any live music, how it goes now. And then for house, are you more of a house or indie listener, would you say?
I'm more of an indie listener, but a lot of my friends are house listeners, especially my my classmates for sure. So I see a lot of people just staying at Funk Safari, which I get it. The vibe there is so much fun, and the music always seems so cool. I know at the end of the night, and with my experience with Shabang, whenever the headliners are done at the main stage at Laguna Lake, I usually walk over to Funk Safari because they usually have maybe like 20 to 30 more minutes of their set left. And that was 2 years ago. Not sure if it's the same now, but it was so much fun because all of the main stage people would crowd over to Funk Safari again for just half an hour more of music before the end of the night. And it was just so much fun. Fun music for sure at Funk Safari. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty sick. And then with it, kind of silent disco. That is a cool experience.
I highly recommend.
The line got
silent
crazy last year, but DJ Mandy pulled up.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
All because DJ Mandy was there for sure. But I know a lot of people that are really iffy about silent disco. I don't know why. I think it's an interesting concept for people that have never done it before, but I highly recommend it. So much fun. For people that have never experienced silent disco, or especially in the Shabang scene, it's a cool tiny little house that you
It's
go into.
small too.
It's small but fun because when it gets crowded, it's really fun. But it's this tiny little house that you go into that leads to this kind of small stage, and there's 2 DJs playing, and I kind of feel like it's a battle of the DJs situation where on your headphones you can either tune into like DJ A or DJ B and what songs they're mixing or playing, and it's just so much fun to kind of not only see 2 DJs or just artists, either local or somewhat local, creating music, but just in that small area with all these people. It's really cool. I highly recommend it. Just checking it out for an hour or 2. It's really cool. Yeah.
And with it, there's always a DJ going on constantly.
Yeah.
The entire festival, there's always 2. So there's no lingering. Even if you're in line and there's a switching, you'll still always see somebody playing there, which is fun.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a time limit for that either.
Not that I know of.
No, I know for DJ Mandy, I think there was a little bit, but that was crazy.
Did you go?
Yeah, my friend really wanted to go, so we stuck it out. It was pouring, and by the time we got in there, we looked like wet dogs. it was pretty crazy, but it was kind of fun in there because you dry off a little bit by dancing with everybody, and with that whole energy, it was super muddy, which kind of added to the experience for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to go to DJ Mandy, man, but it got to the point where I think it was... Do you remember if it was the first day or the second day that DJ Mandy was on?
It was the second day. It was Saturday because that's when it was pouring.
Yeah, that's what I remember. So my sister, and we can talk about this a little bit more later, but my sister, who I went with last year, loved the Walters. Loves still, but we really had to post it right at the front of the barricade to see the Walters, and that got to the point where I was looking back at the line of Silent Disco and just seeing it grow and grow and grow for Mandy, and we're just like, you know what? I have to let that go. But do you remember if she... Because I know DJ Mandy is a very interesting artist. She usually plays, like, serious, good music, but sometimes it's kind of a little bit more jokes music. Did she do a little bit of both, or living vicariously through you right now?
Yeah,
You know?
so not really. That's mainly why we went, because if you've seen her TikToks previously, it's mixing, like, kind of the latest meme almost.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a little disappointing because it wasn't more of that. It was like traditional DJ set.
Okay.
So I don't know. It kind of felt like how it was advertised, but it was still pretty fun. There was a couple inserts of it, which added to it. I kind of liked it more, though, without all the like meme inserts with it, because then you kind of got to see how like great of a DJ she is on her own.
For sure.
So that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
And she's similar to our age, too. So it's a similar taste of music as well.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, just because that's what I thought it was advertised as at first, being like kind of more of her jokes, like if you want a good laugh, but also just a fun time at Silent Disco, DJ Mandy's there. But knowing now, and especially knowing what good music she actually produces, I'm happy that she showed more of her own stuff. So yeah. Anything else about the main stages? I think, my big advice is just check out all 3. I know with your friend group, if you're going by yourself or with a group, it's always kind of normal to just post at one place, especially with like just the continuing loop of new artists. But I would always encourage people to branch out of new
split
music.
up from your groups. It's all good.
Yeah.
I went with my friend group last year, and so together we were a group of 4, and at 1 minute we were all at a different stage. So don't totally glue to your friends with it, so you can see who you want to see as well.
Yeah, I highly recommend that as well. We're going to play another song for you. This one, actually, McKenna guessed.
Yes.
For one of the Cuestonian little TikToks that we did, McKenna guessed some of the artists for who before the set list and headliners came out. So want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, of course. So Shabang has a burner account called Not Shabang Slow on Instagram. I think it was released Monday morning. And kind of how we were going to discuss it the following Tuesday, but before I even mentioned it to Lindsey, I called my friend and I was like, what does this mean? Let's break this apart. So I think there was about 12 clues. I wasn't that successful. I got about 5, I think.
Yeah.
But out of it, It was like two like almost stock images on a white background. So me and my friend decoded it, and then we put a little video together that you can find on our Instagram at the Cuestonian, picking it apart. And it was like a man who was literally freaking out with it, and it was a sign that said interstate, and I was like, there is no way it's Bristol Maroney coming. But turns out it is, so he'll be playing Friday night.
Oh yeah. So this is Freaking Out the Interstate, Bristol Maroney.
Freaking out on the interstate, rolling down the windows, baby. I can't hear a thing you say. I'm walking back to my favorite place, and I can feel them staring at me, baby. Do you think I'm doing something wrong? And you got a lot on your mind, and your heart, it looks just like mine. There's no use in wasting your time anymore. I'm sorry, I haven't been myself, and something's got me down. What it is, I cannot tell. I won't be satisfied with anything I've earned. Fear is just a part of love, and one thing I found is love's what you deserve. Driving home and call my father on the telephone. I hope you know I missed you, man. Let's put it all behind us if we can. Never feeling like I'm all the way home. And stones inside my raincoat pocket. I gotta keep on. Won't you hold 'em for me? You got a lot on your mind, and your heart, it looks just like mine. Well, there's no use in wasting your time anymore. I'm sorry, I haven't been myself. Something's got me down. What it is, I cannot tell. I won't be satisfied with anything I've earned. Fear is just a part of love, and one thing I found is love's what you deserve. Sorry, I haven't been myself, and something's got me down. What it is, I cannot tell. I won't be terrified with anything I've earned. Fear is just a part of love, and one thing I found is love's what you deserve.
If you're just tuning in, we're Lindsey and McKenna from the Cuestonian, and you just listened to Bristol Maroney Freaking Out on the Interstate. And I think this is his first time coming to Slow.
I think so as well. I don't think I watched him the last 2 years that I was at Shabang. So
So that would be kind of sick, getting
Yeah.
new acts coming to Slow.
I know.
So that'll be super fun. But yeah, now kind of like coming back to, we're covering Shabang 101. The music festival is next weekend, May 2nd and 3rd at Dairy Creek Golf Course, which is literally across the street from us currently.
Yeah. So this can be for returners, especially from last year's festival. But if you're new to the festival or even thinking about it still, this is some things that you should know before going to the event. This is very helpful just because we learned from last year, not every festival's the same, especially with weather.
Yes.
So that should probably be our first thing we talk about is weather, what to expect with that. Given the last 2 years that McKenna and I have both gone, you want to give a little bit about your experience of last year's?
Yeah, so last year's was pretty polar difference. On Friday, it was super nice. I think it was like 75. I was wearing like summer clothing. Sun was out the entire evening.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, gloomy. But with it, not just gloomy, constant drizzling for quite a few hours. I did not dress appropriately. I think I was wearing Converse and like a fleece sweater. So I was soaked, hair completely wet. But I ultimately left for a couple of hours in between because it was so cold.
Yeah.
So be prepared if you don't want to miss acts. I really regret doing that because I think I missed Thundercat that night.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of a bummer, but kind of put it into perspective. I threw away my jeans, my shoes. I know there's still memes going around those shoes of like the horrors of all the mud because it is a golf course. It's all grass and concrete.
Yeah.
So definitely wear shoes in general that you don't care about because in pits and stuff, they're going to get pretty trash. I know the year before I threw out my shoes too. So
yeah, even without rain and mud involved, just the dirt of just a lot of people, especially if you're on Cuesta Ridge stage a lot of the moshing and all that stuff, just better safe than sorry. Yeah, I mean, man, I had kind of a similar experience, but I kind of stuck it out day 2. Yeah, it was a little sad at first just because me and my sister expected the weather before we even went, so it's not like we wore anything festival-y, which was a little sad just because you would never want to go up to a festival with like a full raincoat and a sweater. You kind of want to dress the part a little bit, but we also wanted to not die of being too cold. So it's a balance, you know? But while the rain of last year was crazy, I think it did bring up a lot of fun memories. I think the idea of just all of those people still willing to stay and have fun like there's no rain is really telling to the festival itself. So many people just still at the front of these performances, the acts themselves just not caring and performing. I'm really happy that with a lot of the things that didn't go that well weather-wise, that the festival still decided to keep everything up and running and be like that, where they weren't like, no, we're canceling acts or all that stuff. It was very much like, all right, there's rain, just keep going, you know?
It's true California, rain or shine for any outdoor venue, so that's pretty nice that they stayed true to that.
Yeah, so because of that, McKenna and I, before this, kind of looked a little bit on this janky website.
I don't know how reputable.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to find the weather a few weeks from now, but it's saying
it's like mid-70s low. Like, of course, the evening it's going to drop colder.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. It's going to be your typical slow Morro Bay cold night.
Yeah.
But as of right now, it's saying it's going to be clear.
Not raining.
But as we're discussing, we're also like 10 days away from it. So keep an eye out, like even day of.
Yes. One thing just to recommend is layers. Bring layers. I think rain or shine. If you're traveling, so you're not really a local and traveling, which a lot of people do, I think they're kind of misguided by slow just being 70 all around. No. When it hits 5, it drops. And it's not fun. Not fun. So we were just talking about this too. What I did last year is I wore layers with the rain, but I also left a really thick jacket in my car. And kind of before the main act, I know there's no ins and outs. We were kind of debating that. But I think if you just go to the people at the front being like, hey, I'm just going to grab a jacket, come right back. They were pretty understanding with me last year. I'm guessing it wouldn't be any different this year. So I would always recommend to bring more layers than you think.
Definitely.
And you don't need to bring them into the festival itself. Just keep them in your car. There's nothing worse than being surrounded by a whole bunch of people at night being really cold.
Yeah, and if you're taking the shuttles, even taking a thick beanie, that's smaller too. Because if you're in the middle of the pit, you'll kind of get off people's body heat, but your head is going to drop your core. So keep that in mind. And then honestly, kind of for that, if you want to wear the fun festival fits, do it. And just accept that the jacket at the end of the night might not be the cutest, but it's worth it.
Worth being warm for sure. Let's move on to transportation, because I think for Shabang itself, because it is very targeted towards the college students and that community of Cuesta and Cal Poly, they really promote the transportation system, how to get here, where to park, all that stuff. So what do you think? You want to kick it off?
Yeah, so if you are planning on taking your own car, you can park at Cuesta College and pay a fee of $25. And it's like about a, what would you say, 10-15 minute walk into the festival itself. Like you'll kind of have to wait to cross the road, but there's usually, last year there was people controlling traffic. There was police presence, so it's totally safe to cross it. And then if you do want, there is shuttles picking up from a couple of different locations around Slow, which is $24 and $25 and $24. Both of these are only for the day. So it is picking up from Campus Bottle and San Luis Obispo, Sierra Madre, both days. So, and the shuttle comes, I think it's pretty quick. There's multiple shuttles. My friend used to live over there. I think it's like comes every 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing to know.
A lot of people take advantage of that. I remember every night for the past 2 years walking out of the festival. There's always two things. One is just a tiny little DJ playing a set while everyone leaves. And the other is just this giant line, specifically of Cal Poly kids, just waiting to take the shuttle back. And from what I've heard from people that have used the transportation system, it's really helpful.
And they're nice too. It's not like the shuttles are pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's like I used to take it because you could sometimes, if it's slow, they'll take you back to Cuesta if you want to go to your car and don't feel like walking.
Yeah.
They're pretty nice, but good to know for that. And it's honestly the cheapest because I would advise not to Uber at all. Don't Lyft, don't anything. It gets super chaotic and the surge prices are insane.
Have you ever looked that up for the past 2 years?
No, because I have always just taken my car. But this first year I went, I came with friends who aren't locals to the area. So they all Ubered thinking it would be fine. And my one friend who lived kind of near like the Foothill area, kind of the main hub of where all the restaurants are, it was an $80 charge. And the festival wasn't even closed. So I couldn't even imagine once the festival's closed at the end of the night what it will be.
Oh my gosh.
So really take advantage of the shuttles if you don't have access to a car, or maybe somebody who's willing to pick you up and drop you off.
Yeah.
That would be sick too.
Oh my gosh, don't Uber, please.
Don't do it.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I usually park. I think with the ticket prices and the parking prices, I find it worth it just to park. If you don't know, Cuesta College takes up a lot of Shabang parking. I would say, where's that area? I'm like trying to think of the name of the area.
They park in parking lot too, but if you are a Cuesta student, you'll kind of know what we're talking about. Not the paved, but the back dirt lot is usually where they'll set people, and then if it fills up, it'll filtrate into parking lot 2 itself.
Yeah. I've always kind of been that overflow where I've had to park in parking lot 2 anyway, but I've always found it to be really helpful just because just a lot of parking space and not that much for the amount of time that you're going. I think that's another thing to add is depending on who you want to see and how long you want to be there, that can also maybe depend on if you want to pay for the parking. I would say if you're only going for like the second half of the night, maybe parking might not be that worth it. But I would definitely say if you're going the full day, both days, parking is helpful for sure.
And carpooling too with friends.
Yes.
Last year, me and my friends, it was 6 of us, so you split it by 6. It's not that bad of a
not
deal.
bad at all.
So if you got a friend who's willing to carpool, just slide them some money for that for sure, because they're doing a huge service on that. So, and then they have released an after party so far.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it will be Odd Mob, and they haven't announced who the other person is yet.
Not yet. Last year was DJ Mandy again, which I wish I would have gone. I wasn't 21 yet. Sad.
That was my issue too. I remember the first year Hippocampus was doing like a DJ kind of house thing, and I was so bummed because I was only 20, and
yeah, that was
I
the same
still
for me
think
last
about
year.
it.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited. I want to check that out this year.
But now both of us are of age, so
Yes.
you'll catch us at after parties.
Oh yes.
And the after parties, I can't speak too much because I haven't been able to go to them previously,
neither.
but it is a 21 plus event. Tickets do seem to go quick. So if
Yes.
you are thinking of it, hop on it. It's $50, which includes service fees right now. And it does work if you were only attending one day. So I think it's Friday night. If you were a Saturday ticket holder, you can still go. You just need to have a valid, I think, wristband to get in.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So keep in mind for that.
I'm not sure. This might be hearsay,
Mm-hmm.
but I remember the last 2 years it was not at the festival itself, right? It was
It's at the restaurant,
restaurant.
which is maybe like, I don't really know how far down, maybe less than half a
less
mile.
than you can walk.
It's not
Basically,
that bad.
Yeah, from walking to the festival itself, you kind of are about to go into the entrance of Dairy Creek Golf Course, like the front of it, but then you kind of cut to the left and then take this little trail to get to the festival, kind of out of the golf course. But I think what a lot of people do is they just go back out into the actual entrance, and you'll find the little restaurant where they'll host the after party, which I'm so excited about.
I cannot wait.
That
It
would
is
be
going
so
to be
much fun.
So sick.
Yes, especially coming after the high of just being at that festival is really fun. So then kind of taking a little break, but walking back to another really fun venue to continue the shebang. Why not do it, you know?
It's worth it. And, you know, if you're not paying for parking, might be worth it to put your money towards that ticket.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. So outside of events, parking, and transportation, McKenna, do you remember if there was anything like big that you should bring or not allowed to bring on?
I think mainly water bottles is a huge thing. Don't come with a water bottle that already has liquid in it. You'll
Okay.
dump it immediately. But they do have these huge like jugs
Yeah.
of free water. So if you come with like a Nalgene style water bottle that's empty, you can bring it in, you can keep it, and you have free water the entire festival, which is
Yes.
pretty nice.
I remember that. And they're usually pretty full. Most of the time, they're good at regulating,
And
filling that up.
if it's low, I think last year there was about 5 spread out, and they do come and refill it constantly. So
Yes.
you'll get water within a timely manner.
Yeah. Any other thing? I'm trying to remember. They're usually pretty chill with bag checks and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So
It's pretty lenient, like, you know, kind of your basic. There is a page that it's like a couple things that
Yes.
you can and cannot bring. But, you know, it's kind of like your typical concert things. You can't bring this, can't bring that. So
Yeah.
just kind of, they update it as they go on. But as of right now, if there's anything major, it's pretty much listed there.
Yeah.
So,
a lot of the things that we're talking about here are going to be on the Shebang website. Another thing to add, too, is Shebang just created an app, which is super cool. McKenna can talk more about that because she discovered it. I just
Yeah.
learned about that today.
So this morning they just posted that they now have a Shebang app, which I'm more hyped about because with the, I mean, organizing who me and my friends were going to see was like going in Snapchat using the drawing feature and sending screenshots between the group chat. So now you can add who you want to see and set a 15-minute reminder of where it
Yeah.
will be. So it will tell you all the food vendors, all the music, everything you need to know is in this app. It is a free app as well. It's called Shebang 2025. And then there is a link on their social media page at Shebang Slow to link to it.
Highly recommend getting that app.
Yeah.
That's going to be a game changer for me.
I'm going to
For
utilize it definitely, because now there's exact times each artist will be on with the stages. And I think I didn't see a map, but it says map coming soon. So if you're not familiar with the festival,
Yeah.
even if the map's not there, it's not that tricky to find.
Yes. I know too, even outside of the app, usually a week before the event actually starts, they post a social media in Instagram, but it can be on multiple platforms, giving the actual schedule of each day, like what artist will play on which stage. So keep an eye out for that. Be sure to follow all of the big social medias for Shabang. Very helpful. But also get the app. Like that's a game changer for sure, with just listings of food, yourself, like your own planner.
Is kind of the biggest game changer,
Yeah.
I think. That's mainly why. Because usually it's like apps, I'm like, all right, that's cool. But when I saw that, that's pretty cool too. Because on Friday, there's like 3 bands back to back I'm already waiting to see. So that'll kind of help navigate and make it a clear way to do it. So
Your own personal Shabang experience.
exactly.
All in an app.
There you go.
Yeah, so I would highly recommend that. So that's a little bit of a rundown of basic things to know if you're a newbie or returning Shabang, especially after the crazy kind of weather change of last year, and especially if, this is your first time going to this location. Good stuff to know. All right, we're going to play another song for you. This is another one that McKenna guessed on our Cuestonian TikTok. You want to take that up?
Yeah. So with it, this is Goth Babe, his song Weekend Friend. And Goth Babe just played at the Matana Expo Center last fall. So I'm excited to see him again, especially at Shabang.
Yeah.
But the guests with it knew immediately. It's a photo of these 2 guys who are like hugging each other, so they're friends. And it's a calendar that's ripping down Saturday to Sunday. So, it was a weekend friend.
Yeah. So this is who will be playing at Shabang, Weekend Friend by Goth Babe. That was Goth Babe's Weekend Friend. Most of it. I accidentally turned off the music at the beginning. That's so my bad. But yeah, they're going to be playing at Shabang. If you just tuned in, we're Lindsey and McKenna, from the Cuestonian here at KGUR radio station, giving you the Shabang 101.
Yeah, so now we're going to kind of discuss how our last year's Shabang experience was. So who was your favorite who performed last year?
Oh, the Walters.
Yeah.
100% the Walters. My little sister is a huge fan of the Walters, and I remember when the set list and the headliners came out, I sent that to her immediately, and she freaked out because for years before, she was just talking about how she wanted to go see the Walters so badly. So getting the tickets and seeing that they were playing was just so cool. So seeing them was just incredible. What about you?
My favorite was Peach Pit. I begged my mom when I
so
was
good.
16 to take me to go see Peach Pit, and she's like, absolutely not. So that was super sick to see them. But one of the funniest things, which I didn't know about when they perform, so interactive with the crowd. When they first came out, it was like death metal kind of ass sound, and then he yells to the crowd, put your wolves up, and it's like people doing a silent coyote sign up back at the band, which maybe is something that happens at previous gigs of theirs. Not too sure, but that was pretty sick. And then also Sunroom set that Friday was super
amazing.
fun.
I just learned about Sunroom because they were right before Peach Pit, right?
Yeah.
And I listened to them. I'm like, these are bops, all of them. So then when they played at Fremont just this February, I got a ticket for that and I saw them. They were incredible.
They're super fun. It's like they're also another San Diego band, like Almost Monday. So definitely gives that California-esque sound. And if you are local, they're always coming to Slow.
Yeah, really good.
I remember when they first came and did their little show at Slow Brew. That was super sick, sold out. So kind of fun to see them as well.
Exactly. What are some fun memories out with the band that you love, without? What are some fun memories of last year?
Oh my gosh, so many. One favorite memory of mine was Richie and the Coal Miners played last year, and I saw them at, I think, Cuesta Ridge stage. It was the smaller one, and it was right before the rain was breaking, and as they're entering their song Evergreen, the riff plays and then a rainbow appears behind them. That was probably the coolest thing. How about you?
Mine is kind of similar in the vibe of weather. So when we were watching the Walters, we were pretty in front, close to the barricade, and for the first 45 minutes of the set, it was pretty gloomy, pretty dark, pretty drizzly, but the band just still kept going, and the front man is just incredible.
He's got such great energy.
Such a fun guy. So, I just completely ignored the fact that I was freezing cold and just watched this guy just completely dance and be a little goofy on this stage, but it was so much fun. I remember Becca, my little sister, we were watching him, and she's never seen him live, and was just like, I didn't expect him to act like that. But we were like, it was really fun. But the key part of that performance that really made it so special was kind of 45 minutes into the set, the sun fully came out, and the clouds just parted fully, and it was the first time that day where it was sunny and not gray and dark.
It was super foggy, overcast.
Yeah. So, and when that moment happened, not only was everyone in the crowd cheering because it kind of got warm again, but the lead singer was acting it out a little bit more extremely, but was looking at the mountains for the very first time, and just all shocked and with a bizarre face, and he fully came up to everyone after doing this kind of act for 5 minutes, being like, this is the first time I'm seeing San Luis Obispo Mountains. It's beautiful here. And it was just such a cool moment, especially after the first few hours of being in just pure gloom and darkness, and having the sun come out for basically the second half of the day was super cool, especially with a band that me and my little sister, that was our number one band to see that whole weekend. So that was a really, really cool moment.
They had
for sure.
definitely one of the best sets that afternoon.
Oh,
and
yeah.
with the audience too. I mean, there was this woman who I separated from my friends in a minute to get lunch, and I come back and I see my brother's girlfriend and my best friend who lives down in San Diego reaching into this white bucket of pickles. And I don't know if anybody went last year Saturday and remembers the pickle lady. I wish I knew her name, so for this we will be calling her the pickle lady. But she has a vat of just like pickles that you would almost buy like at a gas station, and it's just offering them out and cheering, free pickles, free pickles, free pickles. And I felt like that was the most slow of slow things to happen during their set. So if you find the pickle lady again this year, maybe she's carrying something else that's pickled, definitely hit her up and say hey.
McKenna and I are gonna keep an eye out for sure, because that's the first time I didn't see her for last year or the past 2 years, so maybe I just wasn't looking hard enough.
I don't know. She was just kind of like in the middle of the GA pit, so who knows? I hope she comes back.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems a little, I don't know, after COVID and everything, I would hesitate to reach in and grab one. Kind of a little germaphobe of that, but
You're like, thank you for doing that. No thanks.
I respect it, but I don't think I'll partake.
Yeah. Keep coming, though. You're good entertainment, for sure. All right. Well, we have a really fun topic next, which just happened over the course of the last few months. Battle of the Bands.
Yes.
Which was so cool to see both on social media and both live. McKenna and I and another Cuestonian staff member, the social media editor, Leah. Shout out there.
Yeah.
All three of us went to the Battle of the Bands in San Luis Obispo. If you want to hear more about that coverage, whatnot, we have some stories up on the Cuestonian website if you want to take a look. But we saw the band Toad win the Battle of the Bands, and they now are one of the 3 Battle of the Bands winners from Los Angeles and Santa Barbara. Correct?
Yes.
We'll be playing a slot at Battle of the Bands.
Yeah, so that's super fun. So if you're not familiar with how Battle of the Bands works, it's usually 3 to 4 cities. This year it's 3 throughout California, usually within a radius to SLO, and it's local bands or smaller bands, and they all compete for a slot to win and $1,000.
Yeah, it's huge.
So it's pretty sick at the end of their set, getting called out with a huge check written to them with $1,000 granted to them.
Yeah,
pretty sick.
It was really cool. And the audience participation of San Luis Obispo, we didn't go to the other 2, but we went to the one on home base, was so cool. The band that won will be playing a song about very shortly. There were so many fans there with t-shirts and signs.
Yes.
And it was so cool. And we talked a little bit to the band afterward. When they won, we all went to Libertine, where they usually perform, and we talked to them a little bit about their band and winning. So it's really cool getting to see them play at a huge stage like Shabang. So yeah, we're going to be playing the 3 songs from the 3 winners today. The first is the San Luis Obispo winner, Toad. This is their song, La Brea.
consequences colossally vast. Act and think only on things from above. You can't trust my blind eyes to know what's really love. And since I don't know, I'll just show you what I'm afraid of. I can't stand up even if push comes to shove. Stay suppressed, you want less, so you might regret. It's not price or being sly to trick you. I'm simply writing to prove I can lie if I want to, and that would be okay. Words are just things that you say. I promise I'll be good tomorrow, and let me be wrong today, 'cause I can change. Not for you, not for me, not for anybody.
That was La Brea by Toad, your San Luis Obispo Battle of the Bands winners, and they will be playing at Shabang Music Festival. Man, they're a great fit. I'm so happy they won.
Right.
I mean, I was just telling McKenna while that was playing, that guitar riff at the beginning, that is nasty.
It is.
Good way. It's so good. I was listening to that, I'm like, oh, okay. All right, so the next song that we're going to play is the Santa Barbara winners that will be playing at Shabang. They are the band Big Hungry. This is their song, The Trunk.
If you're just tuning in, you just heard the winner of Battle of the Bands, Santa Barbara's Big Hungry, and that was their song, The Trunk. We have myself, McKenna, and Lindsey with the Cuestonian speaking on KGUR.
Yeah, giving you the Shabang 101. Next song that we're going to play is the Los Angeles winners, the band Acolyte. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. But this is their song Reservoir Gone. This is also the title of their new album. So this is Reservoir Gone. That was Reservoir Gone by Acolyte, your third and final Battle of the Bands winners in Los Angeles. Wow.
I cannot wait.
I cannot wait. And apparently they're opening the whole festival Friday night.
Yeah, so it'll be Friday. I have it up on their app right now. They will be on Cuesta Ridge, which is kind of our favorite stage, the little smaller one, 305 to 355. Definitely going to stop by and check them out.
For sure. With all of these bands, we were listening to them and these songs. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. They picked really good bands to showcase at Shabang. Wow. I'm so excited.
This is going to be so great.
So now, before we go into our final songs of the program, before we do that, let me highlight us again. If you just tuned in, we're Lindsey and McKenna from the Cuestonian, the student newspaper here at Cuesta College. You can check us out at the Cuestonian website. We're also on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, all of that stuff. We're also here thanks to the KGUR radio station here at Cuesta College. You can check them out. They're on Spotify, they're on Instagram, all that stuff too. So yeah, we're going to jump into some people this year that we are excited to see. What about you?
I'm most looking forward to seeing Almost Monday. I wanted to see them, I think last year I wanted to go, but ended up being a conflict for another gig I ended up going to. So I can't wait to see them. I've listened, like I said before, listened to their music for quite a few years, so it's been cool to see their growth.
Yeah. For me, it's a toss-up. I love Jungle. I love their stuff. They played at Vina Robles a few months ago, and I was very sad I couldn't go. But then Wallows, I mean, my little sister loves Wallows as well, and we were talking about some potential headliners, and we brought up Wallows, and we were like, no way, they're too big. So it's just crazy to see how big this event has gone, where we saw Wallows, and we immediately texted each other. We're like, no way. We literally, potentially were like, maybe Wallows. So those two I'm really excited about, but even there's some artists that I personally knew from like high school that are performing, which is really cool. Like one of the DJs that's playing, I'm not sure where, but his name's Gustav. If you have not heard him, please check him out. He's on Instagram and I think SoundCloud as well. He and I went to high school together, but he's a really good artist that will be playing at Shabang as well. I think he opened for like Walker and Royce.
No way.
Yeah,
That's
like one of
sick.
the artists to do that. He's really good. So just seeing him perform at a big stage like Shabang with that big audience is going to be really exciting. So yeah, a whole bunch of people. Well, talking about Wallows and Jungle, we're going to be playing a few songs from them because they are pretty much the headliners of the whole show. We're going to start with some Wallows songs.
Yeah. So our first song, we're going to be playing Are You Bored Yet? Feature Claro, which is probably their biggest song known today. And they recently just hit the Billions Club on Spotify, which is a great accomplishment for an indie band like them.
What's wrong? You've been asking, but I don't have an answer. How come? I'm still thinking, let's pretend to fall asleep now. When we get old, will we regret this? Too young to think about all that shit. And stalling only goes so far when you've got a head start. 'Cause we could stay at home or watch the sunset. But I can't help from asking, are you bored yet? And if you're feeling lonely, you should tell me before this ends up as another memory. Will you tell the truth so I don't have to lie? Will you tell the truth so I don't have to lie?
All right, that was Are You Bored Yet by Wallows. If you're just tuning in, we're here with KGUR radio station, and we are McKenna and Lindsey with the Cuestonian. I cannot wait to see Wallows
That's
headline.
super exciting.
I saw them a couple years back at Santa Barbara, the Arlington Theater. We were like probably middle of the crowd. Craziest show.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait to see them in a festival setting.
Yeah, that'll be really cool.
So leading to their next song, Calling After Me, which this is also how I figured out they were coming from that clue. Pretty similar if you check the card. Same thing. It's like a phone and somebody pointing like after me. Super cheesy, but I was like, there is no way they are coming. So this is Calling After Me by Wallows.
Calling after me. Don't play dumb, I know you fantasize. You could have me on my back every night. I don't mind the things that you've been doing. Think you need someone like me to get through it. And I know you can see we'll have people talking. You know we can be just what they want. 'Cause I've been out until the morning, and I don't think I'll last another night. I knew the feeling would be forming after I took a look into your eyes. But are you ready for it, darling? I'll take on your responsibilities, and you got everybody calling, but I know that you're calling after me. Cause I've been out until the morning, and I don't think I'll last another night. I knew the feeling would be forming after I took a look into your eyes. But are you ready for it, darling? I'll take on your responsibilities, and you got everybody calling, but I know that you're calling after me. You're calling after me.
That was Wallows Calling After Me, one of the headliners at Shabang Music Festival. Check them out. I know we will, for sure.
Definitely.
So the last two songs that we're going to play are by the next headliner, Jungle. With Jungle, it's going to be a little bit different, though. It's going to be their DJ set. While I looked, couldn't find a lot of their original DJ sets on streaming services like Spotify or Apple Music. I guess that they're going to be playing mostly from their original music. For
I did
starters.
see on YouTube there's like a boil room style set, so if you're curious, check that out
Yeah.
as well.
Well, we're going to be playing some of their original stuff. I will be happy either way. This next song blew up on TikTok, and probably one of the reasons why they got so popular with their album Volcano. This is Back on 74 by Jungle.